So what were we trying to do with the Natural Product Updates app? Okay, a lot of chemistry gets published in a month. A lot of stuff on natural products. And if you tell me that this month was published stuff on brevetoxin, Taxol, saprononin B, hexamethyl chicken wire, those names mean nothing to me. But if you show me the chemical structures, and I'm interested in particular skeletons, I'll be able to figure out very quickly what I want. So by taking the chemical compounds that are associated with an article out of Natural Product Updates, and pushing out the database of chemical compounds for me to review quickly, I'd very quickly be able to look at skeletons, particular types of compounds that I'm interested in, because the language of chemistry to a chemist is chemical structure primarily. That was why we tried to do it. With ChemSpider Synthetic Pages, we were looking to provide a platform for the community to report on how they do chemical syntheses. The ChemSpider database has millions of chemical compounds on it, but people were telling us they would like to find out how to make those chemicals. We thought the best way was to engage the community. Let's get the community to write up their processes, their procedures. How do they do a synthesis? Let them integrate all of the analytical data. We'll host everything on ChemSpider and integrate it together. But ultimately, it's a micro-publishing platform for the community to report on their work. So how does CSSP meet the needs of a researcher relative to that of traditional publishing? It's a good question. So not all science that we do is going to be published in mainstream journals. There may be some very basic reactions you do, some very basic analyses you do, maybe simply a structural elucidation of a compound where you bring the data together and analyze the data. You won't necessarily want to report it in a mainstream journal. Not everything we do works, for example. So on CSSP, we've given a place to publish the chemical reactions that you do that might not earn a place inside a full journal article. This can be also true for very many other forms of micro-publishing. We see ourselves setting up a whole series of these in the future. So think about how much science never gets published, might not even make it into a thesis, but still is valuable science to share with the public. Why not? It seems like the right thing to do. Micro-publishing and serving the future needs of the researcher. We expect urgency nowadays. We expect to find information very, very quickly, the latest information up to date. With a thrust towards open science, the time is coming upon us where we expect to be able to communicate results very, very quickly. While we will likely always keep something close to our chest in terms of the final publication, wouldn't it be appropriate to be able to share synthetic data very quickly, new compounds we've made, maybe the analytical data, maybe the analysis that we've done on some of our compounds, be able to push it out in small increments. Micro-publishing platforms will allow us to do that. People are doing it already on blogs. They're doing it on wikis, open notebook science wikis. Micro-publishing will allow you to do that in a place that is both managed, will register and issue DOIs to you, allow you to put it up onto your CV, your resume. Very beneficial to the community, very beneficial to you as a scientist. Micro-publishing is certainly going to grow. So what was the intention around Chem Goggles? Very simple, really. We all have tablets and smartphones in our hands nowadays. Wouldn't it be great if we could be reading an article or a poster, see a chemical anywhere really, and we could scan it, take a photograph of it with the device. It converts that photograph into a connection table, structure representation that we can then search against a database. We could save it locally, or we could simply hit the databases directly. Imagine searching ChemSpider directly from a paper simply by taking a photograph. Everybody we suggested that to said that would be great. We went off and tried to do it. It's primarily the reason to do it. Just made things easier.